So before we begin, I want you to remember these 5 reminders for yourself. Remember that you are amazing. You can do anything. Positivity is a choice. You have that choice to be positive. Celebrate in your individuality and be prepared to succeed in anything that you try. All right, let's get started. So we are going to need 2 pieces of chipboard, 6 inches by 6 inches. Those are going to be for the covers. And then we're going to need another piece of chipboard that is 2 inches by 6 inches, and that is going to be for the spine. So that's going to be that. And then you're going to need 3 pieces of 65-pound or preferably 110-pound 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So now let's bring out our scoreboard, and we are going to score each cardstock. We're going to put it in on the 8.5 inch side, and we are going to score at a 1/2 inch on all 3 pages. Now that we've made those scores, we are going to put down some double-sided tape right inside those score marks. So we'll do that to all 3 pages, and we're getting ready to join all the pages together so that the page is wide enough to put down our chipboard pieces. Now this part is optional, but I always do it to my mini albums. I'm bringing in 3 pieces of Tyvek paper, and they are 8.5 by 11, and I have 3 pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same scoring that I did with our cardstock. So placing it in the scoreboard on the 8.5 inch side, and I'm going to score all 3 pages at a 1/2 inch. All right, so now that we have our score marks down, we can go ahead and place down our double-sided tapes inside the score marks, and we'll do that to the Tyvek pages. Okay, now we'll go ahead and start joining our Tyvek paper together so that we have a piece long enough or wide enough to place down our chipboard, because we are going to be covering our chipboard both with the Tyvek first, and then we will cover it with the cardstock. So now it's time to put down our chipboard pieces. I've already gone ahead and added double-sided tape to all 3 pieces. And I'm first going to put down the spine right in the middle of our page. And I'm going up about 2.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and place that down as straight as possible. And then I'll go ahead and grab one of my 6 by 6 pieces, removing that backing, and we'll go ahead and we'll place it down right next to the spine, and I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch space in between those 2 pieces. I'll go ahead and repeat that process. I'll remove the paper backing, and then I will go ahead and place it down right next to the spine, about 1/8 of an inch space in between. Once that's down, I'll go ahead, I'll turn it over, and using my bone folder, I'll just press down firmly, making sure that the tape is adhered to the Tyvek paper. Now I'll go ahead and fold up all 4 sides, just as I'm doing. I'll fold up all 4 sides and press down so I have good creases. And then we'll do the last side, bring that up, and press it firmly. Now we want to get rid of some of that excess paper that we have on the left and right hand side. So I'm just going to remove some of that bulk. So you'll see I'm just kind of removing some of the excess paper on both sides. Okay, once that's done, I'll go ahead and save those pieces because I will use those again. Now I want to make sure that I miter cut each of the 4 corners. So I'll go ahead and I'll cut away, and you'll notice I'm not going too close to the chipboard when I do my cut. So I'll repeat this process for all 4 sides. And the last side. Okay, let's get rid of that. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add double-sided tape to all 4 sides. So I'm using 1-inch scoring tape, double-sided tape. So I'll go ahead, I'll add that to all 4 sides. Give myself enough room there. Sometimes you use scissors, sometimes I just rip it. Kind of just depends. Okay, we've got 2 sides done. Let's get those last 2 sides completed. Sometimes it's harder with those longer sides to get your tape to fall in line, if that makes sense. Okay, let's cut that, and let's work on our last short side. Okay, and we'll cut that tape. Okay, now it's time. Let's go ahead and just use our bone folder and make sure that the tape is really adhered to the paper fibers in the Tyvek paper. We'll do that to all 4 sides, and then we can start taking off the paper backing that we just put down. So I'll go ahead and I'll remove all 4 sides, the paper backing to all 4 sides all at once. Okay, let's work on the last side, get rid of the garbage. Okay, now we can go ahead and start bringing up our sides. So bring it up and press firmly when you do. I always start in the middle and then work my way out. Work on my shorter sides and press firmly, and let's do that last side. Okay, we're just pressing down nice and firmly, and then I always also go within those creases to make it easier for our book to fold. So now our album is taking shape. Now we'll bring in our pink cardstock, and we're just going to repeat the process that we did with our Tyvek paper. We're going to miter cut our corners, add double-sided tape, and then we will remove the paper backing on all 4 sides and then fold up the edges just like we did with the Tyvek paper. Now it's time to make the inside liner for our album, and we're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 13 3/4 inches wide by 5 3/4 inches in height. So we're going to need to join 2 pieces together in order to make the appropriate width. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm just kind of joining 2 pieces together. And once I do that, then I will just make sure my tape is down. I will bring in my trimmer and then cut down that piece to 13 3/4 inches in width. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of our trimmer. I've added double-sided tape to everything, to the entire back of the liner. And now I'm just going to reveal just a little bit of the paper, make sure that it's lining up pretty well to the album, and then I'll release the rest of the paper backing. Now that that's affixed to the paper, now I can go ahead and get rid of the rest of the paper backing because it should all lay perfect now. So starting in the middle, work your way out. And press it down with your bone folder and start to use your bone folder with the creases there just to give it a little bit more ease in folding. Okay, now we're going to make the hinge, and we want a piece of cardstock that is 9 inches wide by 5.5 inches in height. We're going to put it in the scoreboard on the 9-inch side and make the following score marks. I'm placing it on the screen for you so that you can pause it and go through all the scores. For your convenience, I've gone ahead and did a few screenshots showing you the first one is where you should be folding. The next one here shows you what it should look like once you've made those folds. And then if you turn it over, I'm showing you where you should place your double-sided tape. So inside those little valleys. And then once your pieces are taped together, this is what it should look like. Okay, now that I've shown you the pictures, now let me show you as I go through the process myself. So I've already placed the double-sided tape down, and I am going to start taping them together. So here goes the second one. I'm just folding up. And I'll take off the third paper backing, fold, and then press back. And now we'll do the fourth one, do the exact same thing, fold back, and then do the last one. So that's how you make hinges. I hope that this process, me going through this detailed process, kind of helped you, because it can be a little bit confusing, but I hope that going through this detailed, it helps you. Alrighty, now it's time to go ahead and place our hinge down on our album. I'm showing you what it should look like. And I've already placed double-sided tape down, so I'm just going to reveal a little bit. I'm peeling back the paper backing just a little. And I'm just going to kind of hover, and I want to make sure that it's completely in the middle of the spine. So paying attention to the top, the bottom, and the sides. And then once I feel comfortable, I can release the paper backing. Now that I have that in place, now it'll be much easier to remove the rest of the paper backing and just carefully place down the remaining hinge. So there you have it. So now our hinge is in our album. Okay, now it's time to make the pages. So the first thing that we're going to need are 5 pieces of cardstock that are 5 3/4 inches wide by 5.5 inches in height. And then we're going to need 5 pieces of cardstock that are 6 3/4 inches wide by 5.5 inches in height. So these are the things that we're going to need to make the base pages. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, and we are going to first bring in our pieces of 6 3/4 inches by 5.5 inches. We're going to place it in the scoreboard on the 6 3/4 inch side, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch. So we'll do that. And then we'll turn the cardstock around, and then we will score again at 1/2 inch. We will do that to all 5 pages, and then we will add our double-sided tape to all 5 pages. I've already done the first 4. I'll do the last one with you here on screen. So I'm bringing in my, excuse me, my 1/2 inch double-sided tape, and we are going to go ahead and place it down exactly as I'm showing. So let's go ahead and get this down. Okay, so now we have our pages all prepared. Now it's time to build them. So we're going to put in two piles. I work better in piles. So we have one side that has the one with tape on the sides, and we have one that is going to go on top of that one. So in the end, this is what it should look like, your pages. So let's go ahead and grab one with tape and one without. And we're going to go ahead and just crease the page that has the tape. And let's grab one that doesn't have tape. And let's get this page built. Okay, I typically only remove a little bit of the paper backing because I want to give myself some time to make sure that the pages are perfectly in line and that I don't put it down crooked. So now I'm just kind of looking at it. Let's go ahead and bring in the other piece, kind of line it up, make sure that it looks like it's good, and when it is, just adhere it down, make sure it's good, and pull the tape. It's as easy as that. All right, let's go ahead and open it up, and we are going to remove the paper backing completely now from this side, and we're just gonna fold it right on top. It is as easy as that. Now our page is built. Just pressing both sides down, and now this is what your page will look like. All right, and now we can repeat the process for all 5 pages. Okay, so for the flaps, we're going to need 5 pieces of cardstock that are 6 1/4 inches wide by 5 1/2 inches in height. And we are going to bring in our scoreboard. I've already done 4. I'll do one with you on screen, and we are going to go ahead and place it in the scoreboard on the 6 1/4 inch side, and we will score at a 1/2 inch. And we'll do this to all 5 pages. So now we need to add tape. So we'll place tape down where our score mark is, and our flaps are now done. So let's go ahead and just fold each of the creases, getting it ready so that we can add it to our pages. All right, so now let's bring back our pages that we completed, and we always want to make sure that the openings are on our left and right hand side. We're going to take a flap and we're going to make sure that it's on the top, line it up, and there you have it. So there is one page complete, and now we'll just repeat the process to all 5 pages. I picked up this card and envelope package set. It comes with 10 sets in the package. It's by Recollections. I got it at Michael's, and it has a really pretty scalloped edge to it. So what I did was I cut 3/4 of an inch from the edge, so I had that scalloped piece. And I did get this idea from Dina over at Crafty Crafts by Dina. Okay, now we're going to start preparing our inserts. So we're going to need 10 pieces of a different colored cardstock. I'm using different just to give it another kind of look for the inserts, but we are going to need 5 1/2 by 5 1/2 of cardstock, and I'm using bubblegum pink, and then we're going to need 5 of the scalloped edges. And so here, so you can see, I want a little bit of the scallop just kind of peeking out from the little inserts. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of sandwich it in between 2 of the 5x5s. 5.5, sorry, by 5.5. Okay, so now let's put these pages together. I am using 1/4 inch double-sided tape, and I'm just adding it to the edge of the scallop piece, and now I'm going to add it to one of our 5.5 by 5.5 pages, and I'm only going to add it to 3 sides. The side that does not have any tape, I'm going to use as a pocket opening. So here I'm just adding the last side of double-sided tape and getting my thumb punch ready. So the side that has the tape, that's the side that we want to add our scallop edge to. So let's remove all of the paper backing to all our pieces, and let's go ahead and sandwich it in between the two cardstock pieces, and this is what you should be left with. Okay, and now I will just make a little notch on the bottom, and now we have a pocket on our insert. Now it's time to start making our closure for the album, as well as covering all our pieces. So let's put all our pieces to the side for a moment. And I have here some tulle that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. It is glitter tulle, and I use it as my closure. However, it does make a mess when you handle it, so I probably won't use it again, but it does look beautiful. Then I picked up this paper pad from Michaels. It's called Sweetheart's Day. They did have the 6x6 as well as the 12x12, so I did pick up the 6x6. It is double-sided. And I picked up the 12x12 as well because I thought that it would be good to have. It has a lot of gold foiling, which I love. Look at that. That's so, so, so cute. While I was there, I also picked up some gold foil cardstock, so I'm going to use them both in combination with each other. Now it's time to add double-sided tape to our cover. So I'm placing it so the front is showing, and I'm just going to run it right down the middle. And I am using 1 inch in width double-sided tape, and let's burnish it really well. And then let's bring in the tulle that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to unravel, I'm gauging really just to see how much I would need to tie a bow, and I've cut that out. Now I'm just going to cut just a little bit in the middle because that's where I'm going to place my tulle, and I'm getting it ready to put it down. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my tulle, and I'm just going to start placing it right on top of the tape. I have folded my tulle in half, and let's go ahead and rip that paper backing off, making sure it's down, and then I'm just going to use a couple of paper clips on either end just to make sure it's secured. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put down my gold cardstock. This will be my first mat. So the spine that I'm putting down is 1 3/4 inches in width and 5 3/4 inches in height. So I'll go ahead and I'll put that down. Then I'll work on placing the covers down, and those pieces for the front and back are 5 7/8 inches in width and 5 7/8 inches in height. So I've removed my double-sided tape from both of my gold cardstock, and then I can adhere them down to the left and right hand covers. So this is also going to help with holding down that tulle that I've placed down as the closure. So this will be considered the first mat. So let's go ahead and put this down and then work on the other side. Let's put that down as well. Okay, looks about right. And okay, let's go ahead and just place that down. All right, now I'm bringing in my cardstock that I'm going to place on my covers. So I have two pieces that are 5.5 by 5.5. And then for the spine, I have a piece that's 1.5 inches in width by 5.5 inches in height. So we'll add double-sided tape to everything, and then we'll just adhere them onto our cover. So I've gone for a more neutral style for the covers because I want to do a lot of embellishment. And then we want to make sure that we add double-sided tape to all of our hinge pieces. Now I'm bringing in my completed pages that I've used from the scrapbook pages that I got from Michael's. So I have placed all of my covers on my pages, just kind of running through that. And last one. So now the album is complete. What do you think of it? I'll do a flip through. I did leave the back empty. The tulle looks really pretty, although it does put a lot of glitter all over the place. But I've embellished it with lots of doilies and other things. And I'll quick look at all that glitter. Okay, I'll do a real quick flip through. So I added a pocket in the front, and I have two of these cards just placed in there, and they're ready to be filled out. And then there's my first page. We have our flap. I love that little thing that says love facts. Now I do minimally let me show you the insert first. So there's the insert and there's the pocket if you want to add something. Now, when I make my albums, I typically don't pre-embellish too much, only because I'm not sure about the size of the pictures that I want to place on each page, how many pictures I want to place on each page. So I want to minimally embellish all of the pages until I am ready to start documenting. Once I do, then I'll fill it up with all sorts of different things. But I do want to include a few things here and there. So as you see, each page just has a little something, and each of the inserts looks so cute with that scalloped edge. And then the back also has a pocket with two cards as well. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. I do appreciate it. And hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. All right, guys, until the next time, stay safe, be kind, and keep it creative.